So ready for this.
Okay.
I'm on the IKEA website. I'm trying to pull up cool things.
All right. Well, let's do it then.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Function Call. This is your boy, Austin Gill, on his new microphone. What up, Grant?
you
Can you
sound like
hear? Do I sound any different?
you sound like a Simpsons character.
Really? This is
Oh,
how I always sounded, but I have a new microphone.
you're a serious weirdo. I love it.
Oh, yeah, you're not the first person to call me that. You probably won't be the last.
This is true. Hey everyone, welcome to the function call. This is Austin Gill, in case you didn't recognize his voice.
That's right. Wait, I think that may have been confusing. When you say
Why?
this is, well, because you said this is Austin Gill,
Oh, as in
as
I
in you
might
could be
the person
referring to
speaking.
yourself.
I'm Austin Gill. Is that clear?
Oh, is that what you're saying? Yes. Yes. We both got new mics.
And new
I,
names. I
I'm
named
Grant.
myself after Austin.
Yes. Well, this was a weird start. Are you ready for this show? I feel like you're excited for this show.
I'm very ready.
This
So,
show is right up your alley.
but what's the impetus of the show? I think that's yours to share and be merry about.
um, so I started my new job recently. We talked about that. I'm very excited. And as part of the as part of I'm just all over the place right now.
It's very on brand. Good job.
Yeah. As part of the onboarding, I was given a little budget to set up a home office. So I took the opportunity to do some shopping around, ask you for some advice on some things. Oh, there's Nugget. Hi, Nugget. Yeah, you can just chill there. You're good.
Don't come near me, dog. I just got you to look at, not to cuddle.
That's terrible. No, I love this dog. Yeah, so basically I got some new equipment, had some questions about what to look at, what to look for, and we kind of ran the gambit on gamut. Damn it. Ran the gamut.
I think like 3 people will care about that. You're safe with that one.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
We'll fix that in editing. Just
Post.
kidding. No, we won't. Yeah, on supplies and stuff. So yeah, I think that you're kind of pretty when it comes to equipment. You're pretty well equipped, is what I'm trying to say.
Whoa. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
That's a novel accusation, but I won't deny it. I am a straight rider. You don't want to fuck with me. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that I got the reference only at the end of that, and it sounded not as good. It sounded not as good coming out as it probably did in your head.
Yeah, I don't know. Old school hip hop fans
Yeah, exactly.
represent. Yeah, so when it comes to like work from home setups, equipment, gear, how do I say this? I have a problem.
Got 99 problems, but a desk ain't one.
That is absolutely the title of this show.
That is, yes.
So I started working from home a few years before the pandemic, and I had been like kind of gamery before that. So like I had this like computer like set up like a battle station, right? And I'd also been into like keyboards and stuff like that, and mice that kind of comes along with it. So like this like work from home thing and this this battle station desk setup is definitely right up my alley. Um, but getting a budget from an employer is something I think a lot of people are going to relate to. Like, you get a new job, they're going to send you a laptop, and you get like some money to spend on this. This is something that I've seen from like regular jobs, not just programmery people. Um,
You think that's a
and
common thing? Like this is my first job where every job is provided a laptop for
mhm.
intellectual property's sake, but this is my first one that I've had a budget. But I've been working in like startup world for a while.
Yeah, I think it's going to be increasingly common, and especially outside of tech, just because everybody, to a degree, uh, will have better access to work from home stuff. And so, like, even if it's not provided by your employer, like, talk to a tax person in your state. Some of this stuff becomes a write off. Like, there there are there are nice perks that you can use to like make this easier financially. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
Anyway, so where do we get started? Like if you're going to look at uh, either you have a work budget or you're just deciding to start from scratch on your own, where are you going to start?
the
What's the first
foundation.
thing? Yeah, what's the first thing you're going to go for?
Oh, the foundation, which I mean, some could say is like a room to work in, right? Like that.
Yeah, get out of those. Quit typing away in those cardboard boxes.
Ouch.
Not going to work.
Uh,
Yeah.
but I'm talking about a desk, a chair, and then the computer may be provided, it maybe isn't, but like peripherals, things like that. Um, so I use a Herman Miller Aeron,
Ooh,
like Infinity Plus whatever version, like some stupid version that's like extra. But I picked it
fancy.
up at one of those like office supply. We've repossessed a bunch of furniture from some company going out of business, and we just sell it
Yeah.
all off.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
picked
yeah.
it up there, and it was relatively cheap. It's an expensive chair, but I'm not paying full price for this thing. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
That's a great way to do it. I think there's like, yeah, companies move or go out of business or whatever. That's definitely a good way to come up on some sweet finds.
Yeah.
Also, little hot tip: um, if you have hardwood floors, actually, if you have any like solid floor that isn't like carpet,
Mhm.
swap out those wheels on your chair for rollerblade wheels. It's
Yes.
amazing.
I would say even on carpet, which is what I'm on,
Oh
rollerblade
yeah,
wheels do so well on carpet.
really?
Yep.
Yeah, you got to get the fat ones though, like big old clearance. If
Yeah,
you want to
yeah.
go mountain biking on it, you can just go down on your Aeron.
It makes it a little bit tall for me. Like, I'm a
Short
short
leg
human.
problems.
I got those problems.
Yeah,
But yeah, like the extra half inch or whatever, kind of makes a difference for me. But like, the chair is absolutely foundational. If you don't have something that you can sit in for a long period of time, like, nothing else matters if you're just uncomfortable all day. So like, getting
yeah,
a chair is super, super important. The other half of that is the desk, right? And
yeah.
I'm a big fan of like a sit stand desk. I built one out of legs and a tabletop from IKEA. Like, it
You got the
was
legs and from IKEA or just the tabletop from IKEA?
both.
Okay.
So they sell like kits, but they're small. This is like a 4 foot wide by, like, probably 4.5 feet wide by 2.5, 3 feet deep. Like,
Wow.
this is a big desk, and I want one that is bigger. Um, but as you'll hear throughout the show, I have a lot of gear attached to it and on it. So it's
Yeah.
it's maybe not the right size for everyone, but what you can do is IKEA sells countertops that
Hmm.
are designed to be like put on like an island in the kitchen or cut up and attached together to make like a full countertop. And so this is just like a piece of, they call it butcher block. It's laminate, like it's particle board with some stickers on it, but it's
Yeah.
reasonably durable.
Yeah.
Um, I've had this for 6 years.
Yeah.
It's really good, and the legs haven't given out on me, um, unlike my own legs, which fail me often.
Nice. Yeah, for me, I went with autonomous for my chair,
Hmm.
which is like a $250 range, which I thought was pretty good for the like ergonomic style chair. It's got some stuff like you can probably hear a little bit of jiggle in like the arms. It doesn't do a whole lot of the movement that I would have liked, but I think it's a good chair for the price. You know,
Yeah, I mean that's like that's a reasonable range because it's like a step up from anything at Office Max or Office Depot or whatever.
yeah,
And honestly, like that, the brand recognition alone, like they're known for creating well their desks, their sit-stand desks, but
yeah,
you know they've got to be able
yeah.
to make a decent chair, right?
It's decent. I'll give it decent. Yeah.
Give it 4 stars, not five. 4 stars.
Yeah, I do feel like there is probably a better chair out there in the same price range, but I'm not gonna like I'm gonna keep this chair. It's good. Good enough.
Yeah. I think the real
Um,
problem is when you think sitting all day at a desk is like literally that many hours straight. No chair is built for that. You need to get up and move around. Like you 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 gotta get away from your desk every once in a while.
I think the chair is built for that. I don't think the body's built for that.
You make a solid point.
Mm,
The chair
mm.
doesn't
Think about
care.
that. Yeah,
You're right.
that's why it rhymes. The air doesn't care either. Nor does your hair.
I'm not enjoying that at all.
I did. Uh, okay, let's my desk setup, right? We'll do a
Yeah.
little back and forth here.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I used to have a desk from my college days. This is an old boy. It's been to a lot of different apartments. It's been taken apart and put back together, missing pieces. It's a
Mhm.
piece of jank.
Mm.
And it was not good on its own. But what I did was I did go with like a budget uh, sit to stand topper. So it sits on top of the desk and it has these hydraulic lifts. So you like pull a lever and just like lift it up and it's hydraulic assist.
Mm.
And it worked pretty well. And then the only complaint I had, it was like $100. So that was a good little upgrade.
Mm.
Um, the only complaint I had was it had a built-in keyboard tray and they had like a lip on the edge of it. So if you
Ooh.
rest your arm on it, it like starts to hurt after a while. So that was a no-go. Fortunately, I upgraded from that because someone left a different sit to stand desktop converter on the side of the street, and this one was great. I loved it. It was they had like put their own plywood top on top of it, but like sanded it down real nice. They had little
Yeah.
like hearts and like Cheryl Crow written into it. That was great. I loved it. Um,
So you went digging through the trash to get this.
no, it was just on the side of the road. Someone had
Hmm.
put it out for free to take, and I grabbed it, and I like that. But it also looks really terrible on my super old college desk. And I was told that since I have a budget, I'm not allowed to keep my old Frankenstein desk set up anymore. So I decided to go on Amazon and I found this electric sit to stand desk. It's
Ooh.
48 inches by 24. So I think probably about the same size as yours.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's got the little buttons to put it up and put it down. And it's all right. You know, it's also particle board and had to put it together and whatever. So far, I've had it for 2 days that it's been set up, and
You don't sound super excited.
It's a desk, man. How excited do you get about a desk?
I don't know. You seem real attached to like your Sheryl Crow sit stand topper
Well,
and like your college debt. Like
the
you're a
thing is, it
sentimental
had,
guy.
yeah, you know what? I discovered this about myself. I don't like change. Everything, that's because everything on that desk was set up like I had it set up over years and had adapted. I think I had, I don't think I adapted my desk to work for me. I adapted myself to work for my desk and my environment, you know?
Okay. So
And
now you're
now I'm in a new modern
mm,
environment.
you have to adapt, and this is
Yeah,
painful.
it looks good, but it feels everything's a little bit out of place, you know? Got to reach a little bit further to do this or grab that because I have so much more space, which is nice. But anyway, let's move on. We covered chairs, we covered desks.
Yeah. So I think if you've got solid chair, you've got a solid desk, you want to make sure that, you know, we'll get to peripherals. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time there. You got something that I think is really important, but I really think that like an external monitor is something that's important. I'm a big fan of ultra wide um, aspect ratio, so like 21:9, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of options there, but I think having a monitor that's not attached to your laptop
Mm,
is to me like really important. You want the
yeah, yeah,
real
yeah.
estate to get that work done, so
I'm
you don't
gonna,
feel like crammed in.
I'm gonna second you on that. I think, yeah, that the desk has to come before the external monitor. Otherwise, where are you gonna put it? But definitely external monitor is a good way to go. I have these like monitor arms actually. Like I don't want to use the regular mount that the monitor comes on. I
Mhm.
went and got some monitor arms that like clip to the back of my desk and they have like a Dr. Octopus thing going on. So you could kind of
Yeah.
like grab it and position it wherever you want. That
So you're
was,
a dual monitor guy then, yeah?
I have, well, I have two monitor arms, but I use one for a monitor and one for my camera.
Oh,
It's pretty cool.
fancy.
It is kind of cool. Um, so this was cool. I did like with this budget, I used to have a monitor like the same sort of setup with two monitor arms, but they were connected, so you could put them both up or put them both down. And I decided that I definitely wanted to upgrade to have independently movable
Mm,
arms.
okay.
Uh, I don't do the ultra wide screen though.
You have just like a regular 16:9.
Yeah, and I use my laptop on one screen and my external monitor on the other.
Do you use like a laptop stand?
I do have a laptop stand, so they're like up at eye
Yeah.
level and like right next to each other. It's pretty sweet. I'm gonna post a picture once everything's all clean. Maybe
Right on.
rate
Yeah.
my setup, bro.
Show off your battle station.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Um.
a monitor I think is really important. I think peripherals like touch points. This is another thing that I I think you should spend time and money getting right for you. Like you made a
Mm,
very good decision, I think, with your mouse.
uh-huh. Which was,
What mouse did you get?
oh, I just got a little Bluetooth guy. I got a little wireless Bluetooth. Probably cost like $10, $12.
I could have sworn you got a vertical mouse.
I was looking at vertical mice. I was looking at them, and you know what? So I have been going back and forth on like the ergonomic stuff because now we're getting out of the things that I think are kind of like the productivity necessities into like the ergonomic stuff. Well, it's all overlapped. We talked about the chair and stuff.
Mhm,
Um, but yeah, I was looking at like the two big boys in ergonomic setup is probably the split keyboards
mhm.
and the vertical or like ergonomic mouse,
Mies.
mice. Thank you.
Mm.
Um, my first day using a vertical mouse, I just kept on reaching from my keyboard to the mouse and just knocking it off the desk because my hand wouldn't come up high enough to clear it.
Yep.
And again, this is like creature of habit. Like the change was just too much for me to overcome to take, reap the benefits of healthy wrists.
Yeah, I totally feel that. I had the same experience trying to use the vertical mouse. It feels really nice, but honestly, with a desk that has adjustable height, getting that height correct had more of an impact than the angle of my wrist. Like
Yeah.
the angle of my arm, like relative to the height of the desk, right?
Hmm.
To me, made more of an impact on my wrist comfort than like whatever shape or like thing the mouse is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because there's a few like joints to think about when you're trying to get the ergonomics right. Man, this
Mm.
show is so boring, by the way. Like this,
tell
sorry,
me tell
listener.
me more about what joints to think about.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about angles of joints and the
Hmm.
importance for ergonomics. But uh, anyway, you have to think about like how much rotation you have in your shoulder. So like uh, how far in towards your belly button your hand is versus how far out it is.
I believe that's called ulnar deviation.
Thanks. Or
It's definitely not.
what is it? Like it probably has to do like pronating and supinating, right?
It's radial
It's
supination.
supination. That's what it
Hmm.
is. Yes. Um, so there's that angle, and then there's the angle between your elbow, your elbow joint, right? You want that to be at like 90 degrees, I
Hmm.
think. And then there's the rotation of your wrist. And I keep on wanting to use the camera to explain to you, but this is a podcast. What am I doing?
it's kind of a train wreck. It's
I think
getting
we're doing
worse.
all right though. I think we're doing all right, right? You
Okay.
have you have the
You have
rotation of the shoulder forward and
ulnar
back, or
ulnar supination, radial deviation, uh deviated septum,
yeah, because that makes
and
it, yeah, that's
so
definitely more
forth.
clear than, yeah, that's about as effective as doing things with my hands in the camera.
I just want to make sure everybody understands what you're talking about.
All right, we got some good Google points, Google googly words, things to
Yeah.
Google. Um,
Now on to stuff that if people are listening to a podcast, they might actually be curious about this part of our setup, which is like the comms, right? That's what I call it
oh,
anyway. It's the
well, we didn't even
communications.
get into split keyboards.
Dude, we got a whole
We did a
show on
whole show
that.
about
If
keyboards
if if I start down the path of keyboards, so like we've been running interviews at my work, we're hiring. Um
based on keyboard preference.
well, no, like everyone that I've interviewed, they see the keyboards that I have in the background of my video and they start talking like key switches and this and that. Like it's a hard rabbit hole to pull me out of.
Yeah,
So let's just not go there.
that's
Um,
a good move on their part. Eat up the time so you can't ask them like a coding interview.
no, that's their bad. I hold it against them.
Ooh,
None of
ooh,
those people make it through.
it's a test.
It is.
You put the keyboards up so that they can see them and see if they pass the test or not.
Yeah. If you start talking about like
Uh,
keyboards or space or anything else that obviously will distract me from the task at hand, like you fail.
all right. Well, before we move on, I do want to touch on this.
Mm-hmm.
I did go for a split keyboard. I went with the Kinesis Freestyle,
Oh,
which is like half on one side and half on the other.
yeah.
Man, I never realized that I've been pressing the B button with the wrong finger my entire life.
Mm.
Apparently, it's supposed to be a left index finger.
So the
If
layout that I like best is called
Yeah,
the Alice layout, right? So it was originally a keyboard layout by TGR. So it's like the TGR Alice, but it's open sourced and people can use it and modify it and all this. It has a B on this side and on this side
but
for people like you.
there's not a physical key for a B on the right hand side.
For me, there is.
Well, lucky you.
So
Uh,
you see, I'm holding the keyboard up. You see that little tiny Alt key?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
actually a B.
nice.
No key sets come with a B, or come with two Bs. So there's like a little
I
tiny
think
Alt
they
key.
most of them come with AB.
One B. You only get
Fancy.
one.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, it's been a B to use that keyboard. You see what I did there? That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
That's
Pretty good.
It's a tough one to
Um,
miss.
okay, that one also complain. Also, this is just going to turn into a show about me complaining about change. I went from very, very thin keys that are, I guess, maybe a little bit tight together, which I like, to those like big old chonkers with more space in between, and it just totally throws you off, you know?
Let me see the freestyle if this is the one that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I don't
Oh
like the
yeah,
big
yeah, this is
chonkers.
that board. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, no offense to freestyle users, I'm sure it's a great keyboard. I'm going to try it again, but I have to do it in like little increments at a time.
Return that thing. Get a happy hacking keyboard.
Hmm. Oh, actually, you know what another good consideration for these things is?
Hmm.
Whether they plug in, whether they're wired or wireless.
Always wired.
And always wired?
Yeah.
I'm in the Bluetooth camp. I definitely
For
want a
mice,
Bluetooth.
it makes sense because you move that around. How
Yeah.
much do you move your keyboard around?
I don't, but I don't want to sacrifice a USB port for it. And don't get me started. Okay, this is a good transition into other peripherals, right? Like we're gonna start talking about what is it? What are we gonna talk about next? Well,
So, it,
USB hubs.
no,
No.
we
Okay.
don't need USB hubs.
Where we're going.
Where we're going, we don't need USBs. No, let's talk about audio gear. Let's talk about comms. So like cameras, yeah, like if you do camera stuff, maybe get like a webcam. I don't know. Like okay, that could
Yeah.
go in a bad direction. Like cameras are like a whole rabbit hole unto themselves that I don't want to get into, but I do think that audio is probably the appropriate place to spend time here. So
Mm.
you just came from Logitech what's it called?
No, I had a blue ice snowball or ice snowball. I
So
never know how to say that company's name.
yeah,
It's blue, right?
they're owned by Logitech, but yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, I got one of the snowballs, the big old like softball sized microphone. Um, that worked really well. That all the shows that we recorded before was on that. This show is the first new show on a Samson 3.
That's such a great name.
I forget what it's called, man. I'm not supposed. Am I supposed to know this stuff? Let me see if I
Yeah.
can. I don't
It's
even know.
probably, I'll give you a secret, written on the microphone.
Oh, that's a good point. No, but it's a Samson Q2U3.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll have it in the links. Yeah, I came up on this one because there was like a Black Friday deal.
Mhm.
Michael Chan was recommending it on Twitter. I was looking at other, for me, really important. I want a very simple setup. I just went
Yeah.
with a USB mic. You were
How
trying to
much how
recommend
much was that microphone?
$100.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
$40.
There we go. Even
Yeah,
better.
I think it's $100 microphone that was on sale for $40.
Ooh, you stole it.
Yeah, don't
Did
tell me.
it?
Call the
That's rad.
cops.
So, microphones are really important to me because I'm sensitive to audio quality. And you may not believe this, but studies show that so specifically with like YouTube video consumers, the audio quality is more important than the video quality.
That's just a statistic that
That Shure
people that
uses
are
to sell microphones.
yeah, that's a statistic that people quote when um well, they're not very good looking.
Okay, I didn't
No,
think you were going to go there, but
no,
okay,
that was
cool.
mean. That
We're
was
we're
mean.
we're
And
on the ugly train.
also, hopefully that was obviously a joke. Um,
Your dry wit sometimes comes over like a wet noodle. Um, so I use a far more complex audio setup, and I think your microphone sounds close to as good as what I'm using.
hmm.
Um, well, we'll let our listeners decide. Let us know. Hit us up on Twitter and say, hey, No, Grant, your audio sounds like overprocessed trash. Um,
I don't think that's a fair comparison because you have a silky smooth voice, and
I I work on my voice quite often. We'll get to the voice exercise equipment shortly. That's a terrible joke. Again,
oh, just
like
leave the
a
jokes to me, man.
like a wet noodle.
Yeah,
Um, so I use a Shure SM7B. This is a very popular broadcast quality microphone. It's a little pricey. It's like $400 or something like that. Um,
whoa,
I've had it for quite a while. This thing, I can pass this down to my child like it's a tank of a piece of equipment. Um, but this is not a USB mic. This is an XLR mic. And so you need some
yes,
equipment to go with it. So it has a cloud lifter that goes into a preamp, that goes into a noise gate, that goes into a compressor limiter. Um, so this is like a really intense amount of equipment to basically talk on Zoom meetings and record this podcast. Um,
yeah, you can probably mine Bitcoin with that info.
yeah, yeah, it's an intense setup, but I feel like um, specifically when I was spending lots of time in meetings, and I actually for one of my previous jobs was recording quite a few YouTube videos and was recording videos that were being consumed for like internal training. Um, I think it makes a big difference in whether people are miserable dealing with your content or not. Like if you're using a microphone that has like a ton of room noise, which let, let me just as an example show you one of the pieces of equipment. So like I'm in an apartment right now. I can't spend a whole lot of time treating this room. So I picked up the noise gate. And if I bypass the noise gate, I think you can probably hear the room noise quite a bit more. Um, we were talking before the show, and I hit the bypass switch. And then if I bypass my limiter, I think it's even worse. So like
Yeah, you
this
could
is
hear that.
straight out of the amplifier with no post processing, right? So we turn these back on, we get things back to a reasonable level, and this is how you sound like you have vocal cords, right? This is how it works.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I think that uh, good audio is not going to make bad content better, but
no, you're
it will
correct.
make good content worse.
What? Oh, bad audio will okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Bad
yeah.
audio
I
will make
forgot
good
that
content
part.
work. I'm like,
No. Yeah. Good audio will not make bad content better, but bad audio will make good content worse.
I'm 100% on board with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like audio setups can get real finicky. Like we could dive into headphones and some of the other gear that I have around that. Um, I would just recommend you get a pair of closed back headphones, just to know that what you're listening to, like when you listen to recordings or when you listen to somebody in a meeting, you're kind of isolated from the rest of your environment. I think it makes a big difference.
Closed back, meaning the ones that cover your entire ears.
Closed back meaning if it covers your entire ear, it needs to have like a solid shell because there are
Mm.
some that are over your entire ear, but it's like a uh, you can still hear the room, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
open to the element.
I just use the little earbuds. Shoot, I think I got these off an airplane.
You're a different kind of creature than I am.
We really are. Yeah. Yeah. This is really looking at like recommendations for budget side
Mm,
or actually good quality side, which is fine.
yeah.
I got some good recommendations for some very affordable things and
I mean,
good enough for me.
yeah, I mean you can go with airplane headphones or Dan Clark Audio Aeon 2 closed backs. I
Yeah,
mean,
unfortunately, I can't put a link to the brand of headphones that I have. Let's see. It might be Delta.
I'm gonna put a link to Dollar General in the
Yeah.
in the show notes.
No, actually, I do have some that I would recommend. Taotronics Bluetooth headphones. They were gifted to me. I use them for running though, which is great. And I don't like to use them for the podcast because if the battery dies, if I forgot to charge it and the battery dies in the middle of a show, yeah,
You're
no bueno.
you're you're deaf in the show, and that's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what else do we got? What are we moving on to something else?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
got mics. So your mic is gonna need like the whole XLR processing stuff.
yeah.
Sounds like
So
it's gonna set you back like $1,200.
I think that's a
Thousand?
reasonable estimate.
Yeah. I got my mic for $40,
Yeah. And I
which
think it sounds at least 80% as good, right?
yeah. Yeah,
Like
and that's fair. Yours clearly sounds better.
there's zero justifiable reason to go beyond what you have there. Like there is like if I'm on NPR, okay. Like then this makes sense. Or if I make a living doing this, like if I am recording videos for my job, but I'm on Zoom meetings for my job, so it's not the same thing.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I thought that we were taking this show seriously, but I'm gonna take my $40 microphone and walk.
Ouch.
No,
Oh,
but it's good. I do like the you just plug and play like setup for me. I optimize for simplicity.
which is totally like a valid approach. And I honestly like when I look at my setup against some of the like battle stations that are posted on Reddit that are like very simple. Um, I look around my room and I get anxious because it's just full of a bunch of shit.
Yeah. Do you
It's
ever feel
crazy.
like you're just gonna one day be killed by being trapped under the mountain of things that just fall over and crush you?
No, I mount things very low. I'm safe from that problem.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah.
Um, oh, well, what do we got next? Video stuff? Are we doing that?
It's
Oh, we
I
kind of
have
touched on it. We said
yeah.
webcams, right?
I
Get a
yeah.
webcam. I think it's worth getting a dedicated webcam.
I agree.
I think this is one that you really don't want to go cheap on because if you get a cheap webcam, you're going to end up replacing it.
Yeah. I mean, I have like the some Logitech 1080 camera. It's fine.
Yeah.
Does the job.
Yeah.
But
I am going to be doing some more live streams. So my job actually sent me a Sony XR100, I think, or
okay,
X100. Is
those are
that right?
cool.
Did I get that right? I don't know. It's a pretty nice camera. It shoots 4K. It does have a plug and play. It's a mirrorless camera, so it does have like you can go from the camera to an HDMI cable, but in order to get the clean feed, you need an adapter. So it takes the HDMI output and then it plugs into USB. I
Oh,
think
interesting.
yeah, I think you can pick those up off Amazon as well for around $11, but we got the Elgato Cam Link set up here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are
Another
you
one of those
using that
things.
right now? Is that what I'm seeing with my eyeballs?
Yes. Yes.
Sweet.
Yeah. It's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Rich,
listeners, you're missing out.
rich, vivid colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and one thing I like to do with my audio and video setup is I like to have a USB hub that I
Mhm.
can unplug when I'm not doing recordings.
Okay.
Yeah. So then it's like, oh, recording mode, just plug it in. The microphone turns on when you plug it in. The camera doesn't because it's a little bit more fancy, but I think I might be able to figure out something like that.
Oh, it doesn't
Uh,
have a hardware on off switch. It's a button.
yeah, it needs I need to press the button still, but I think that's
Okay.
only because there's a battery inside. So if I take the battery out, Here's the cool thing about the camera is you can power it via USB.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, or if it was just a webcam, that would still work. Like plug it into the hub, plug the mic into the hub, and then you just plug that into the computer when you want power on, take it out when you want power off. It's good. Easy peasy.
Then no one can spy on you.
Yeah, I still have the integrated webcam, this little sucker right here.
Oh, you gotta take a drill to it.
No, you know what? Actually, this computer has a nice little built-in privacy screen.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apple will never do that. So you have to keep
No.
buying these stupid little stickers that slide left and right and then fall off after about a year.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
terrible.
they do that on purpose so that you have to buy a new one.
It's true. Selling me a $3 sticker. It's ridiculous. It doesn't even have cool stuff on it.
I bet you could get a cool one. If I bet you could get some that are designed for kids that like are little like characters that
It's like
slide
a little googly eye up there.
like a turtle, and you just slide his little head further out of the shell, and it blocks the camera, or like you slide the head back into the shell, and it's like that'd be a good one.
That's really cute. When the
Yeah,
turtle's in the shell, you can't be seen.
yeah. It's
When the
actually
turtle's out of the shell, it's video time.
no, well, it would actually work the opposite how I described it.
Yeah.
But anyway, you get it.
Anyway, I mean, I
Uh,
think as far as like a strict like work from home, like desk working setup, that covers more than enough
More
for
than
pretty
enough.
much
Yeah.
anyone. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say definitely a chair is worth it. Um I don't know. The sit to stand desk thing, I still kind of like my manual desktop thing. I like that it doesn't need electricity. Um it's actually a little bit faster to get up top because
Mm,
the electric ones they go a little bit slow. The nice
yeah.
thing about the electric ones though is you can set it to like you can have it memorize positions. So I can say this is my sitting position, this is my standing position. I don't know. There's four positions. I don't know what I would use the other two for. Like if I want to jump or if I want to do like squats, like if I just want to be in that, what is it, the Russian chair pose?
That seems
Yeah.
painful.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I think an external monitor is a requirement for me. A Bluetooth, I won't say Bluetooth, but a keyboard and a mouse
Hmm.
separate from the laptop. Those are the requirements for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think every piece of gear I have and use, I would miss if I didn't have it. Like, could I do without most of it? Absolutely, I could. Would I be as stoked? No. The
Yeah.
stoke is real and it's important, I think.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to do things for yourself. So Marie Kondo would come to your office and just spend like 8 hours there and not accomplish anything.
No,
That's what
does
she
it
said.
spark joy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all of your things.
This stuff is rad. What? What? Does
Yeah,
it? Does it? Is it not obvious it all sparks joy?
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think that's a wrap. Unless you got something
Yeah.
else to throw on there.
I do not. I think like I we could obviously go on and on. I think that there's a lot of rabbit holes in this, but this is probably about as much as anybody could tolerate us meandering around this topic.
Yeah. What a terrible show. I was supposed to stop recording before I said that. Oh, well. That's all right. They can't all be bangers.
Dude, that's what's crazy is like so the syntax episode where Scott and Wes go into their setups is like that was one of my favorite episodes that they did.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so like I had this
they're
thing
great.
in
They
my
also, they also have a little bit more experience than us. So give
that's
us a few
true.
more
I'm gonna
100 episodes.
I'm gonna give us a pass on that one,
Yeah,
but
that's all right.
I mean, who knows?
We have our own sort of charm. I say charm with air quotes.
Something like that. Big old podcast air quotes.
Yeah. That's all right. Yeah, let's yeah, I kind of wanted to get into some software as well, like software
Ooh.
setup, but I think that's gonna have to be another show.
Oh, like automation kind of stuff?
No, just like, well, maybe like
Oh, like your developer environment kind of thing?
yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
Like you if you get a new
Yeah.
computer, what do you you're stoked.
I'm so
Yeah.
excited about I did excited hands for those of you who
Yeah. Jazz hands. But they weren't jazz hands. They were like the little hands that babies make when they make little tiny fists. Oh geez. I didn't mean to call your fists baby fists. You have perfectly adequately sized
it's okay.
fists.
I'm not sensitive about the size of my excited baby fists.
All right. This show has gone off track. Let's go to shout outs and then we can stop recording.
Okay, for once in many months, I have a shout out like ready to go. So I ordered a jersey from a company in the UK called Commit Equipment, and when I say jersey, it's not like it's like a mountain biking shirt. It's athletic wear, whatever. If you mountain bike and you listen to the show, like the crossover of that is very very low. But this is a mountain biking jersey with pockets. They have zippers. It blew my mind. I ordered more as soon as I found this out because like
Oh,
cycling
that's right.
jerseys like
You've like
always have pockets on the back, and like when you are wearing mountain biking gear, they're like, "Oh, you got pockets on your shorts, bro. It's cool. Like you don't need pockets on your like." I don't always have accessible pockets on my shorts, so like having more on my shirt
that's because
is
you
just
keep
really
putting your
nice.
shorts on inside out.
That's true.
Yeah. Just fix that and problem solved.
I'm hopelessly stupid and can't figure out the right way to put on shorts.
Man, I'm on something tonight.
I think it's good. Do you want that something you're on to be your shout out?
No. Well, actually, I do have a shout out. I got to give a shout out to Gorilla Ladders.
Oh, those are so good.
Yes,
Yeah.
Home Depot had a sale. Like I had been sort of like scouring what's it called, OfferUp and Craigslist for one of these for a long time because I was like, I want to get like a new ladder, but I also don't want to spend too much money. Sound
They're so
familiar?
expensive sometimes.
They're like $150.
Yeah.
And finally, Home Depot had a sale. They had it on sale for like $100. I think this is actually maybe like a $200 ladder, the one the height that I got.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was on sale at like 50% off. So
That's
I picked one
awesome.
up. I'm so glad I got it because we had another ladder before that was one of those like foldy ones that folds like three different joints and whatever.
Mhm.
I thought that was going to be a good ladder. That was a mistake because it's a pain in the butt to get up. And they like advertise all of these different angles you can use it, but they're all useless angles. So
Yeah, who does
anyway,
this? Who
yeah,
uses it as a platform against the wall? Like I know
exactly.
exactly what you're talking about. Like,
Exactly.
no.
Some of them have it shaped like the letter M. Like, when would you ever use a ladder in the shape of an M? Like, when do you have that need to like step up and then like go sideways but come down a little bit and then go back up and then come back down? It's like you're in a cave. If you're in a cave, maybe that's a useful ladder.
Yep. It's a very like cavers love it.
Yeah, it's great. Spelunking,
Yes.
perfect ladder for it. Anyway, this ladder is awesome. It has a whole bunch of like, it basically has like, how can I explain this on a podcast? Just go to the link. It like slides, it extends.
Oh, it's a telescoping ladder.
Yes, it's a telescopic ladder. And it's been great.
I'm so glad you figured out how to articulate the ladder type that you got.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Grant, let's call it, man.
We're having a hard one. All right.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, we'll see if this one even gets published. All right, I'll
Ouch.
see you.